Hello.
Hello, Risha, ma'am.
Hello. So you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can hear you as well.
Yes, ma'am. So,
Happy New Year.
yeah, same to you, same to you.
How do you happen to do a class in the New Year Eve?
Come again. Please
How do
speak
you
loudly.
happen? If my voice is not clear to you?
Yeah, now it is better than earlier.
Okay, so how do you happen to do a lesson on the evening of the New Year?
No, no, no. It was like any other day for me because I do not enjoy. Actually, I do not attend the party. And mm, and actually having said that, actually my company did
Hmm.
not celebrate. Actually, we used to celebrate and
Hmm.
we used to attend the party. Actually, um, we had a great setup of orchestra and great setup of
Okay.
gathering actually. But what happened yesterday at 6 p.m. in my company, uh, there was one incident.
Okay.
4% died actually.
What?
Yeah, 4% died.
Very
There was
sorry to hear that. What happened?
actually this is the steel manufacturing company and safety is very much concerned actually. And
Hmm.
accidentally incident happened and actually we have furnace.
Hmm.
We have kind of set up that
Was there an
after.
explosion?
Yeah. There was explosion. No, that was not explosion because I think actually that is a different department. I'm not working out there. My department is different
Hmm.
actually. But I got to know there was an incident, and so
That is very sad.
molten metal came out, and that affected uh, workers. So on the spot they died. So we had great setup for event, and so event cancelled yesterday,
Of
and
course, yeah.
even in our street there was gathering in the evening today,
Hmm.
and that also cancelled. So
Okay, I understand that you're having a tough New Year this year. You
no,
lost some
New
of
Year is
your
not
coworkers.
previous year. Actually, yesterday it happened. Means you can say the year was horrible for the company. Yeah,
Hmm.
but
Okay,
now New Year.
it's good that you're putting it in the past. It's you're already thinking of keeping it behind you. It's actually good, but whatever happened was horrendous. All right, all right. Let's talk about something. So you're not celebrating New Year. Do you have any family or any plans that you're going to do in the evening?
No, I would love to spend my
Nothing.
time at home only. And
Hmm.
so actually, my spouse and my kid were about to celebrate in the street because I told you that event also cancelled because of that
Hmm.
incident. So they will stay at home only, and we will do our general routine work.
Okay, so is your workplace near your house?
Yeah, it is 2 kilometers far away from our town. So actually, we are living in Company Township. It is just 2
Oh,
kilometers far away.
that
Yeah,
is
from
why.
home.
That is
Yeah,
why. Everybody is in the state of mourning.
yeah. It is kind of grief. It is kind of mourn. And
Hmm.
township has become silent today.
Quite natural. All right. So have you gone through the session notes?
Actually, I used to think that I will see session note, but I didn't get chance to see the session note. Even I don't know what
Didn't
is
have
the
any
top.
chance.
Even I don't know what is the topic.
Okay, okay. So the topic says lifelong lessons, lifelong learnings. My bad.
Okay,
But we
lifelong.
have some vocabulary that we can quickly discuss. So why don't you come to page 3 and we'll discuss some idioms here.
Lifelong. The idioms. Okay, know the ropes, learn the ropes.
No, know the ropes or learn the ropes. Can you
Getting,
also see the meaning on your document?
yeah, yeah, getting skilled in a particular task. Yeah, getting skilled
Hmm.
in a particular task. Okay, know the ropes and learn the ropes.
Okay. So if you're learning something new, for example, you're learning to drive,
Mhm.
okay? And somebody makes a bad comment about your driving skills, you can say, I am not an expert. I'm not a master level driver yet. I'm just learning the ropes. If you join a new company, or for example, you join a society of any kind, and
Mhm.
you do not know how the things work out there, you can say, I'm still learning the ropes. Or
Okay,
if you
got
know
it.
something, in that case, you say the first one, I know the ropes. I know the ropes very well.
Okay, it means still I'm learning, and it will take
Yes,
time,
when you're
isn't it?
learning, that's the difference. When you're learning, you say, I'm learning the ropes. And when you know something, you're already an expert, or at least like you know how it works. You can say, I know the ropes very well, or I know the ropes.
Mhm.
I've been working
Okay.
in this field. Let's say you're an engineer. You can say, I've been working in this field for 11 years. I know the ropes very well.
I know the ropes
I
very well.
know
Okay.
I know my job very well. This is what you're saying.
Okay.
Understand? Is it a
Got it.
new
Got
idiom
it.
for you?
Got it. Yeah, yeah. It is new idiom actually. So actually, I'm going to learn data science and AI. I'm going to
Hmm.
start from this month, so I think it is kind of learning the rope for me.
Yes, in that field. Can you make a sentence?
Hmm. Sure.
Let's try it in a sentence.
Yeah. So data science and AI, it is the new skill for me, and I'm going to learn, and I will get mastery upon this. But it is kind of learning the rope for me nowadays.
Okay, if you've already started it, you can say I'm learning the ropes there. I'm just learning the ropes. You mention what ropes you're talking about, the activity or skill that you're trying to gain some
Okay.
expertise on, and then you say I'm learning the ropes, or you can say I
I'm
will be
learning the
learning the ropes. That is also okay. Not so common. It is usually used in the present tense. I'm
okay.
learning the ropes, or I know
I'm
the ropes.
I'm learning the
Understand?
rope. I'm learning the rope. Data science and AI.
No, no, you have
Uh-huh.
to frame it differently. You say your
Okay.
sentence, okay? For example, I'm going to start a course on data science and AI. I will be learning the ropes. I will
I will
start
be.
learning the ropes like this, like this. One
Okay.
more thing, it is not a rope, it is ropes.
Okay.
That doesn't
Verbs.
change, okay? It is always ropes. You either say, I know the ropes, you know
Okay.
something very well. In that case, you'd say, I know the ropes. And if you're learning
Okay.
something on hand, you can say, I'm learning the ropes,
So
but
I have to
ropes
mention
in both the
whatever I'm going to
cases.
learn. Whatever I'm going to
Hmm.
learn, I have to mention that thing.
Yeah, but if you're initiating the topic of conversation, if I ask you a question like this, okay, if I say, are you an expert data scientist or are you a data scientist? You can say, no, I am learning the rope, or I'm going to start learning the ropes because I brought it up
Okay.
first. If I don't bring it up, you want to tell me that information, then you have to give me both the pieces of information that you're going to start
Okay.
learning
Okay.
this, yeah, this
Okay.
and learning both the pieces of information.
Okay.
Depends on
Okay.
the type of conversation. If somebody asks you this in question form, then you have only one thing to do. You only have to use this idiom. Otherwise, talk about the thing and say that I do not know it very well. I'm going to start learning.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
Okay. All right. Let's do the second one.
Cannot make heads or heads or tails. Unable to understand.
Can make
Cannot.
heads or tails. Yes. Unable to understand. Not so common though, but it's an idiom that you can learn. Unable to understand. Amit is not able to make heads or tails in trigonometry. All right. So heads or tails is basically not able to understand. Are you able to think of any other expressions that means I don't know or I don't understand?
Mhm. Yeah, I don't know. It is not my cup of tea.
It is not my cup of tea is used to say that something is out of your league. For
Out of?
example, starting out of my league, out of my league. For
Mhm.
example, starting a new business, you can say that's not my cup of tea. I'm not an
Mhm.
entrepreneur.
You don't
I'm not a
like, or
business
you
minded
like.
person. Not about liking or disliking, it is about your inner capacity to do it. You think you cannot do it, you will not be
Okay.
able to. Waking up at 3 a.m. every day is not my cup of tea.
Okay. So capacity. Uh,
Yes, I will not be able to do it.
okay, I'm not able to do it. Okay, so it is not.
Waking up, yes, see, this is a good
It is not
example.
about like and
Waking up,
unlike.
not really about that. No, no.
Okay,
It is
okay.
about if you will be able to do it, if you find yourself capable enough to pull that activity or not. Waking up 3 in the morning is not everyone's cup of tea,
Okay. Mhm. Got it.
right? Not
Mhm.
everybody can wake up at 3 every day.
Mhm. Right.
I don't know anybody who can wake up at 3 every day. Quite rare,
Mhm.
right? Okay. Can make heads or tail. You have any other answers?
Mm. No, I'm not getting right now, but I know
No.
some of them. I'm
You
unable
know
to
it?
recall that.
Not coming to mind. Okay,
Mhm.
okay. I'm gonna give you a simple one. You might have heard this. Common beats me. And I'm gonna tell you one more, which we
Beats me.
use
Okay.
exactly the same way in Hindi as well. It went over my head.
Yeah, yeah.
We say the same thing in
It
Hindi,
went over
right?
my end. Yeah, I was about to say this one. I wasn't able to recall.
Okay. It's a good
Uh,
one. It's a good one.
mhm.
Okay. It is used in English as well.
It went over my mind. Mhm.
But you know what? The best way to say you don't understand is to say I don't understand or I don't get it.
Mhm.
It is not the best thing to use such fancy idioms every time because why would you complicate your language?
Correct.
See?
Mhm.
Speaking simple, speaking
Mhm.
correctly is
Mhm.
above everything.
So
Fancy
how I
languages.
so how I would be advanced speaker if I will not use idioms phrases.
But no, but based on what your definition of advanced speaker is. My definition of advanced speaker is that they are able to talk about anything and everything, and they use
Yeah,
the
yeah,
appropriate vocabulary. It is more
correct,
about the
correct.
appropriate vocabulary, right? It is not
Mhm.
about using a bunch of fancy words that do not fit in.
Mhm. Okay.
Sometimes if you have to say the same thing again and again, not able to understand, not able to understand, that sounds a bit odd. Then you can use some idioms
You
and
can
phrases,
replace,
and that
yeah.
is why you need to have a bigger word bank. But then you open your mouth unnecessarily if you use a bunch of high level idioms or phrases that might throw the listener off. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? Yeah, not a great thing. Then we have knowledge is power, pretty common.
Knowledge is power. Yeah.
Very simple. Even if you've not heard this before, you'll still be able to make sense of it because of how simple it is. So let's make a sentence.
Knowledge is power.
Let's make a sentence. How would you say it?
Mm, So whatever we do is because of knowledge. So I would say knowledge is power. Knowledge has power, and it is kind of implementing the knowledge in deeds. It proves that knowledge has power, and uh, and uh, uh, and if whatever insight we are getting on daily basis from teaching, from tutors, and from books, from
Hmm.
any learning tools, so I think knowledge is power.
Okay, good. You actually gave me a small paragraph. You explained how knowledge is all
Okay,
about power. Okay. How else can you put it in a single sentence?
knowledge is power. Okay,
I'm gonna write my sentence and you think yours in the meantime. Most of the
I'm unable to see your sentence.
I'm typing it still. Read it.
Most of the billion, billionaires,
Billionaires.
billionaires read a lot because knowledge is power. Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Knowledge is okay.
Did you think a sentence?
Yeah. So
What's your sentence?
knowledge is power because knowledge matters.
No, I'm trying to ask you to make a sentence that you can use in your conversations.
Okay.
You know, saying like that. Let's say you have kids and you ask your kids to read more books, so you can say this.
Okay.
You need to start reading more books because knowledge is power. Like this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
More conversational. Let's try. Let's try.
Sure, sure, sure. So please try to indulge yourself very much into study because you will get knowledge after reading the book and after reading the book and you will get knowledge because knowledge is power.
Okay, good. Much better. Much better. This is something that you can actually say in your conversations, right? All right. Good. So you've already learned three idioms. Out of the three, two are really good. Know the rope, learn the rope. That's also very common in business conversations these days. Now we'll take a look at some words. And I guess you know these words already, but let's check your pronunciation. Can you pronounce the first one?
Uh, prevail,
Hmm. Prevail.
prevail, to
Very
prevail, to
nice. And
prevail.
then we have
Uh, vitality,
vitality. Vitality. Stress. Just that's the difference.
vitality. Okay,
Vitality. Okay. And then we
vitality.
have
Persistent,
persistent, like consistent,
persistent.
persistent, right? All right. Okay. So this is our second lesson, right? I remember in the first class I asked you to increase a bit of listening, increase your listening time a little.
I have
Did you get
increased.
it around? You have? What are you listening to these days?
So actually, you have suggested actually one of the podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
So I have listened
Mm-hmm.
for 2 days, but again I switched myself into another podcast, and
Okay,
it
no
is
problem.
yeah.
There's no problem at all. I just want you to get some listening done every day. Make it a routine, a daily habit.
Yeah, so I
With the
listen. I
effort comes
listen.
reward.
I listen to such types of thing on daily basis. This is kind of my knack, but yeah. So, but
Mm-hmm. You've
I'm
been
not. I
listening.
cannot devote more time. Uh, so for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, sometime 25 minutes, I can devote. I'm devoting. But yeah.
20-25 minutes a day sounds like a good starting point to me. If you find more time over the weekends, you can do that. And I think I told you this. The easiest way to maximize your listening time is to couple it with some other activity. For example, when you're driving, if you can concentrate on the road and listen to the conversations, good. Many people are not able to do that because driving consumes all of your attention. But then you have other activities. For example, when you go for a walk, or when you water your plants, or you make your bed,
Okay.
listen to things at that time. You don't
But I
necessarily
believe
have
that
to
if
take out the
I
time
will
for listening alone.
okay, so in this way I can listen whenever I drive, whenever I walk. But if I will not pay attention, so will it work? Or attentively I have to listen, ma'am. So if my mind would be somewhere else and I will not pay
Hmm.
attention, so will it work?
That's what I'm saying. For example, driving is a very high concentration job. There
Mm-hmm.
you might not be able to pay attention to what the conversation is going about, right? But when you're walking on the road, you can slow down your pace, yeah, walk fast. It depends on you. You're just having something to do with your free time. You're having a relaxed walk. Then you can definitely listen to some conversations. For example, if you do some work around the house. Okay, this is what I do. Every morning when I wake up and I have to make my bed and make coffee for myself, that's when I get some listening in, because making your bed is not a high concentration job. You don't have to be
Mm-hmm.
focused exactly to get all the pieces of dust off your bed. Not so important. So you can focus on the conversation. And also, once you start doing it in the beginning, it might be a bit difficult for you. You'll feel like you're at the fence, you're focusing on something that you're doing physically and also mentally on the conversation. At first, it will be a bit difficult for you because you feel like you're multitasking. But then, I don't know, like after a week or so, it will become much smoother for you and it will
Hmm.
feel effortless after that.
Yeah, yeah.
You get used
Uh,
to it.
if you really want to inculcate this habit, so definitely you will get problem initially. But
Hmm.
if you keep on listening to that thing and if you keep on practicing, so definitely uh, it would be your piece of cake for me, and you will start liking.
Exactly. You got my point. You understood me exactly. Sometimes what I do is if I don't get any listening done in a day, I usually listen to some conversations, like I plug my ears like this and I listen to the conversation while I'm eating at lunchtime. That is not so great for your health because you'd not be able to focus on chewing then. But then, I don't know, we all have our priorities, and I think getting
Mhm.
nutrients comes second for me, and getting some listening done comes above getting some nutrients. You know what I'm saying? So if you can do that, you can also make it a point that you listen to some conversations at lunch table if you don't find any time at the rest of the day.
Okay, so have you ever been to abroad? Because your accent is quite so. Did you develop this skill after listening only?
Not exactly listening, but yeah. So this is my story. When I was just starting to learn English in sixth grade, I was 11 or 12 years of age at that time. I happened to make friends with some Americans. Didn't I tell you this on the first conversation? I usually tell my story to my students the first time we talk, but anyway. So I made friends with some Americans when I was only starting to learn English, my formative days, and we used to talk a lot over this application called Viber, which I think is not used anymore, and they shut down the
Okay.
company there. So this is how I learned it. I was more used to listening to the American accent than the Indian
Mm,
accent, and I talked to
okay.
them for a good 5 6 years of time, and that's how
Correct.
my
Mhm.
there are my roots. You know what I'm saying? I can talk like an
Correct.
Indian as well, but then you'll also hear the pronunciation. But I have worked on my accent as well, and
Okay.
most
Yeah.
conversations that I listen to are in the American style of speaking. That's there.
That's why. That's why. It is proof that whenever attention goes, energy flows, and things happen. So you were paying attention towards American language.
It happened
And
to happen. Like I did not create that opportunity. Nobody can decidedly become friends with a bunch of Americans at the age of 11. Like friendship is a two-way thing, right? You need to have them in agreement that they want to have become like friends with you as well. So I got this weird life opportunity where I happened to become friends with some Americans, and we used to
Mhm.
talk a lot on video
Yeah,
calls and on phone calls, and that is how I acquired it. So this is how I put it: I acquired the
yeah.
the accent in the language. I haven't learned it, but I keep polishing it. That's true. All right, what else? You have a question for me? We're a bit late though.
Come again? Actually, I didn't catch your last word.
Do you have a question for me?
Ah, question. Okay. Uh, mm, actually, so I interact with my spouse. I interact with my kid. So I'm totally indulge myself in English. Uh, so having said that, I take some time, and uh, I have not been spontaneous till now actually. so so when I
Hmm.
will get spontaneously fluency, when I will get fluency.
Spontaneity. Okay, like speaking without thinking.
Yeah,